we're going to be taking a look at our first sequel video. So, hooray, fantastic, glad we made it to the point where we can do this. But in this first sequel video, we're going to be taking a look at a position we looked at before, one of my favorites, but with a little bit more context. So last time we took a look at the sit-out position for Jiu-Jitsu. If you'll remember, we had the armbar and Americana options. Now, if we're doing MMA, those are still very good options, but I have something else I can do that's maybe a better use of my time in MMA, and that is ground and pound. It's more of a sure thing if I can really lock in a position. So I want to take you through two of my favorite ground and pound options and ways of forcing the person on bottom to react, forcing them to reach, forcing them to give me something. All right, so let's take a look. So first things first, as a bit of review, how we got into this position. I'm in my classic side control. I've got my underhook, I'm under his arm, and he's pushing. He wants to make some space to shrimp, so I'm going to sit underneath it. My lat is being heavy, a lot of pressure, all right? My lat's making a lot of pressure. My toes are in the mat and my belly button's facing up just a little bit, okay? All right, can you scoot back just a little bit? There we go. All right, so if you'll take a look, remember our first option was to step over his head. Best case scenario, this gives me his arm, and that's perfectly good in MMA, that works just fine. But another thing that I can do is, I've now created a barrier so it's hard for him to stop whatever's happening here. If my position is secure, then I can start kind of wailing on his head, all right? Now these shots hurt, but they're not really one-punch knockout punches. I want you to get that out of your head. They don't have to be. I can cause significant swelling on his eyes. I could target his nose, maybe bust his lips up. That's a lot for him to think about in between rounds. That isn't whatever advice his coach is giving him, right? The other thing it is if he's one of these types who keeps everything tight, and you'll see in jiu-jitsu sometimes it's infuriating. People will bring everything in and just say, well, if I'm not on top and winning, I'm just going to take my ball and go home. And they'll stay tight, tight, tight. Well, in MMA, he can't do that. That's the best part. He has to push, which feeds those submissions we looked at last time. The Americana, and it's a good way of getting him to stick something out to go for my armbar. Now, my other option here is a classic. There's this position in MMA that is kind of legendary for how effective it is, and it's called the crucifix. And you can feed that right from here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be nice and tight, my lat is heavy, I'm going to feed his arm behind my head, and I'm really pinching with my head, almost like I'm pulling it into my neck here. Now watch what I'm going to do with my other hand. I get my elbow involved, and I'm going to push it down and get my leg over the top of it. Now you'll see I have both of his arms trapped, meaning there's not much to defend him. The way I finish this is I'm going to go belly down, and I'm going to really post pretty heavy with my head on the mat, and I'm on my toes here. All I have to do is rear my hand up and start wailing in. I let those hands drop. Again, don't put pressure on yourself to have every punch have that one punch knockout power. Because the truth of the matter is, if you focus on your head being heavy and your toes being heavy, pinching a little, you're going to get 50 of those shots for free. He can't get out. Just let the ref see it. At their time, they can stop it, and this is a very effective finishing position. So everybody have fun, and let us know in the comments how your ground and pound is improving and how you feel about your ability to get to this position. Again, this is a favorite of mine. So if you're finding a lot of success, let us know. If you're having trouble, let us know. We'll be watching. Be sure to respond and make sure that we're helping you. Remember to like and subscribe. As always, thank you guys for watching.